okay, here's the thing that. Okay, so let's make it 5. Okay. So it's Stephen Sondheim, Jesus, my grandpa and my grandma, and Walt Disney. Here's the thing that always baffles me, and I brought this up when we were at LinkyCon, is that Walt Disney was just a man, and that was his name, and he made this whole business and this whole like amusement park that was named after him. So instead of like Disneyland or Disney World, it would be like me naming like Brunsman Land or Brunsman World. But you hear Disney now and you're like, it's Disney, and you don't think it's a person's last name. You think of it as like an iconic.
Yeah, when I worked at Disney, a woman gave me her credit card and her name was Disney, and I was just like, I'm not. And I was like, are you sure? I was like, really?
But it's just so weird to think that that was a man's last name, and he created such an empire in entertainment.
Yeah, because you hear Disney and you're like, oh, that's quality. Like, you don't even have to question it. You know? Like, you're absolutely right. I love him. I wish that we could talk. That's my go-to answer.
He shaped my whole life.
Jim Henson.
I mean, he might be
That's another good one, too, yeah. Jim Henson.
Me and the Muppets are like...
I'm so excited for the new... What's your favorite Muppet movie?
He's interviewing.
Well...
This is I always find curious because nobody ever answers with my favorite.
Muppets Take Manhattan.
That's my favorite. Nobody ever says that one. Muppets Take Manhattan.
I like watched the seasons.
It's clearly the best because they're clearly putting on a Broadway musical. So I don't understand why people who enjoy musical theater don't obviously go to Muppet. Although Muppet Christmas Carol is pretty good.
That was pretty good.
And I'm really excited for the new one.
And we all watched it together.
Thanksgiving.
I was like, that's my line. It was just so exciting.
But Muppets Take Manhattan, of course. Yeah. Peoples is Peoples. That's my favorite from that.
Who's your favorite Muppet?
Really? You ask me all these favorites, and I never have favorites.
I just feel like there's
my favorite. Well, see, like if you ask me, like my favorite Winnie the Pooh character, I'd say Winnie the Pooh. But my favorite Muppet, I think I would have to go with. You like Beaker?
Beaker and Animal.
I think I would probably have to go with Fozzie.
How do you feel about the Muppet Treasure Island and stuff like that? Muppets in Space. You're into those at all?
You know, I mean I enjoy them because it's the Muppets, but they're not like my favorite.
Are you like the classic Muppets type, or do you enjoy like Fraggle Rock?
I enjoy Fraggle Rock, but you know I'm true to like the Great Muppet Movie or not the Great Muppet Movie, the Muppet Movie and the Great Muppet Caper. And Muppets Take Manhattan, and A Christmas Carol.
Have you seen the Muppet Family Christmas? It was a TV special. It's not A Christmas Carol. They go to Fozzie's mom's house, and the Sesame Street characters come, and the Fraggle Rock characters come. It's the coolest thing ever.
Really?
Yeah, it's so great. I have it on like VHS, like taped on the TV.
I mean, the Muppet Show I love too. I love watching old episodes of the Muppet Show.
This is how I can't sleep. I just watch episodes of it.
My question was if you would consider releasing like a studio album of yourself singing.
Definitely. I think that's not in the near future, but I definitely think that's on the horizon coming up sometime.
Do you have anything coming up sooner than that?
Yeah, I do. In the very close future, my website, tylerbrunsman.com, is going to be going live. Which I'm very excited about. And you know, I'm very technologically handicapped, so it's taken me a little while to get it up, but it'll be going up. If you happen to be in New York over the holiday season this year, I will be in the Radio City Christmas Spectacular. I'm going to be the first male Rockette that they've ever had. No, my gosh, could you imagine? That would be terrible. That would be awful. I will be in the Radio City Christmas Spectacular, but I'm one of the vocalists. So if you're in town, be sure to check that out. It's all new this year, which will be fun. And there are like 30 shows a week at Radio City, and there are 2 different casts in New York. So I'm going to try and post on my website or somewhere to let people know if they want to come when I'm going to be on. And then I just started working. It's kind of like a cabaret-ish concert, one-man show with singing and stories, and it's just starting to come together. So that should be within the next, maybe after the first of the year, soon after that, which will be fun. And you laugh, you cry, you wet your pants a little bit, and yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So yeah, some exciting stuff that I'm really excited about in the future.
Are you going to continue with Team Starkid? Because I know they've got their thing going on at the end of this month, and I'm sure that they've got new shows coming up. Like, are you going to be involved with all that?
You know, I absolutely hope so. With them being in Chicago and me being in New York, we don't have a whole lot of communication back and forth, but I unfortunately couldn't go to the charity event at the end of the month. I'm moving that weekend in New York, so it's going to be a little hectic, and I wasn't able to make it out to Chicago. But in the future, I definitely hope so. And, I still love being a member of Team Starkid and really hope to, because, what great people they are, and what great things that they do. So, definitely hope so.
We said we were going to talk about this, and then we didn't. I need some backstage stories. Do you have any funny things that happened besides the Lucy Malfoy Dreamgirls video?
Oh goodness, I forgot we talked about that. Well, I don't remember a whole lot from the first one. The first one kind of came together in a whirlwind, but I do remember from the second one. The first time that we rehearsed It's Not Over Yet, or not even the first time, every time we rehearsed it, the sequence that when I turned around and all the Death Eaters were rubbing their hands all over, there were certain Death Eaters that I will not name by name, Nick, that
of course, I was totally going there.
I think in the video you can see there's one that slides their hand down my shirt, but one time, I think it was Nick, took his hand and he started sticking his fingers in my ear, and I lost it and could not keep going because it was so funny. And then another time, one of the first times we practiced the song with the wig, I whipped my head around and the wig flew in my face, and I like brushed it out of my face, but I missed a whole chunk, and it like got in the back of my throat. And so I was trying to sing, but I started gagging because, like having hair in your mouth, that's not a pleasant feeling. So I remember, what part was it? I walked down and I was singing, and I was like, and we had to stop the song because I thought I was going to throw up everywhere. But luckily I didn't, but
That's really good.
and we made sure that the wig was hairsprayed back every night after that, so that would never happen again.
That was a rehearsal.
That was a rehearsal, yeah. Not a real show. No, there was stuff that happened during shows too that I lost it many times.
Oh, the Joe shoe. That's their favorite
that's
story.
the best story from the sequel. The best.
Everyone tells me that story.
I'm so glad I was not on stage at that moment. I would have.
You said you break. Do you has that happened for you in a show? Do you have an embarrassing
Yeah, this is maybe the most embarrassing stage moment of my life. When I was in 6th grade, I was in a production of Dr. Dolittle, and I played Tutu the Owl. And I had this big costume that went down below my knees and poofed out, and then my arms, I didn't have hands or arms or anything, I just had big wings that covered my hands, so I couldn't use them for anything. And one of the things I had to do on stage was I had to fly over to the table, and there were oyster crackers on the table, and I had to pick them up with my beak and eat them. And so I started eating them, and I was chewing it in my mouth, and then I realized that I had to sneeze.